All right.
All right, we're live.
Hello, everyone.
Mm,
Why does my shit keep doing
no. What the fuck just happened here? That's what I wanted, but. That's what I didn't want.
I wonder if that'll.
Do 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 do. To show off the new stickers.
New stickers.
No, just the ones you've seen. Did you get a bunch of those yet or no?
Uh-huh.
All right, cool. I still got a lot.
Yeah.
I gave out a good like 30 or 40 of them at the RCQ.
Sick, man. That's what we're
Because
looking.
like
People love slaps.
there's a bunch of people from like GU that like always want them.
Oh, dude, that's sick.
I was actually talking to a bunch of them about doing like some play testing before the RCQ next weekend.
All right.
Like just cam like standard.
What the hell? Why is it saying that on
My
Twitch?
shield grid deck is getting to the point where it's hard to make cuts.
Oh, for EDH.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
tales old as time.
I found my psychosis crawler. And that needs to go in.
Is that the one when you draw a card, everybody takes a life?
Yep.
Yeah, that card's cool.
Yeah, it's just Underworld Dreams. It's that 1 damage instead of 2.
No, Underworld Dreams is different.
Isn't that whenever a player or opponent draws a card, they lose 2?
It's
No, that's
whenever a
one.
player,
Yeah.
any player draws a card, they lose a life.
Oh, that's,
Oh.
I didn't. I thought it was an opponent thing, but I guess it's old templating.
And then psychosis crawler is whenever you draw a card.
Gotcha. All right. Is there any other reference material I want to have up? I think I got everything I wanted to talk about in the cast today. Maybe the one last thing. I posted something. Oh yeah, about the beasts. We'll talk about that, I guess. The Beauty and the Beasts.
Have you seen What We Do in the Shadows?
Yeah.
No.
The Beast.
Wait, the movie or the TV show?
It's okay.
The movie.
Even lamer.
Yes, I have.
Movie?
Probably both.
The movie's way better than I haven't seen the TV show, but the,
The
movie's
show
one of
is
the best
really
movies.
good, but the movie is also very like good and funny. The movie, I think you would like the movie better than the show, Tony.
The movie is like one of the best movies I've ever seen.
I don't know about that. But
Are people shirtless? Are buff guys shirtless fighting?
no,
Then I'm not interested.
There's no one buff fighting. Is there?
it's a mockumentary about vampires.
Yeah,
That sounds
like
like
living in a flat in
yeah.
England.
Three vampires share an apartment.
Four.
Is really good.
That sounds
Yeah,
cool.
Well, and the fourth one, there's a fourth one, but he's like minimally in the movie.
Nosferatu, isn't that his name?
No, it's
That sounds cool.
yeah, damn.
I like the idea of nonsense.
It's made by Taika Waititi.
I don't know who that is.
He's the one that made Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, like that movie. Out of the entire Thor series, that's the best one.
Oh yeah.
Everybody's like, "Hey, full source material." Shut up. How about that?
I mean,
I took those boobs.
I'm one of the few people that probably liked
The fourth one.
the second one.
Oh, it's okay. Loki's cool on it.
I've only seen Thor 1 and 2.
Ooh,
You've seen Ragnarok.
Ragnarok's a good one.
Yeah, that's
That's
Ragnarok,
3.
right?
No,
That's
there's
3.
3. Number 2 is
What's Thor 2?
the Dark Elf one.
Dark. What is it? The Dark World.
Yeah, that one's pretty booty. Like it's
I don't
rough.
even remember. I think I had to have seen it, but I have no memory of it. It can't be too memorable.
It's
But
the
yeah,
last
then
one
I've
that's
seen
got my
Ragnarok.
girl in it. That's why.
I haven't seen Love and Thunder.
Love and Thunder is okay.
Yeah, they screwed up on the villain. That's really all they did.
And I feel like they just tried too hard to be like Ragnarok. Because Taika
Maybe.
Waititi also did that one.
Yeah. It's all right. All right.
That's how I felt about Guardians 3. I thought the villain was very lackluster.
Yeah. I mean, I thought. So, spoilers. I thought when Drax got shot, I was like, oh shit, they're doing this. Like, they're killing off people.
Yeah.
And then they were like, plot armor. I was like, all right, dude. Like so lame. It made that whole scene irrelevant. I was like
Agreed.
them like it should have. I mean, having them get captured or something, but them getting like blasted and not dying. I'm like, get out of here.
Especially considering at the end it doesn't even say the Guardians will be back. It just says Peter Quill will be back. Or
Yeah.
Star-Lord will be back. So it's like, man, if you're not going to even bring them back, because I know Batista said he like wanted to get out of the role.
Yeah, but so did Robert Downey Jr. And then there's talks of him coming back. So.
Oh yeah,
they're all coming back. It's like they need a huge injection because that one guy is no longer playing the role anymore, John whatever.
Yeah, Kang.
Yeah, so they needed like a big fucking boost. We don't need like Robert Downey Jr. to dominate the movie, but if he does a cameo, that'll like if this is the only thing I ever asked from Marvel is before the release weekend, don't show the commercial where Robert Downey Jr. is in it, and then what they'll do to boost ticket sales is use that clip and be like, he's here,
Yeah, do what they did for Spider-Man: No Way Home. We there was rumors about the other two being in there, but we didn't see it until after the movie had already been out.
Yeah, right. And this is what they did for what's it called too, like when they wanted to promote it, they had Captain America lift the hammer. You're like,
oh yeah.
But before that, you're like, oh shit. Anyways, all right, let's get this thing going. 3, 2, 1. Theme song.
I put my sunglasses on.
Yeah, do it. This is the serious cast where only serious guys do stuff. Okay. These glasses mean I'm incognito, so I can say whatever I want and you won't be able to find me or where I live.
What is this, Big Daddy?
Yeah.
I don't know if you're too young to get that reference.
We're the same age, dog.
No, we're not.
Yeah, we are.
I thought you were like aren't you 2 years younger than me?
The same age, bro. We went to high school when My Chemical Romance was cool, all right?
So you were born in 88.
91.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Doesn't matter. We lived the same era. Okay, it wasn't goth.
Agreed.
It was emo. All right.
And then it was seen like right at the ass end of high school.
Yeah, I don't remember that. I just remember it being emo. All right. You are listening. You are listening to episode 135 of Paper Player. I'm your host, Tony. I'm joined with Josh and Jeff. JB is, I think, starting his bulk analysis. He's going through all of his bulk to make sure that he doesn't have any banned EDH cards. I don't know if he understands what that means, but this episode's called AI Took Our Gerbs. So, yeah, if you are...
I just saw on the news this morning about the first restaurant to open that's completely AI, and it'll you put your order in on the on the kiosk, and then it'll start flipping the burger and all that stuff for you.
Yeah, Dylan, for you in the chat, if you're asking for pro proxy or anti proxy, stay tuned. We got a lot to talk about.
Oh my god!
Man, in the chat's already starting with that.
Yeah.
Welcome to Magic Players.
We were just talking. Oh my god, we already laid out the podcast this morning, or 10 minutes ago.
Yeah,
and it's already that happened.
I'm sorry. All right. Before we get into the weekend, what we played Magic, just a couple announcements real quick. If you want to connect with us on our socials, the best way to do that is find us via Linktree. Just look up Linktree in Google Paper Player, and you'll be able to like and subscribe to all of our things. Help us grow, help us expand. It's the best way for us to do that. That being said, I want to talk about MagicCon Chicago. If you're not going to be there, be square. But other than that, you'll see the Magic crew or the Paper Player crew all there. Just come greet us, say hi. We got stickers. We'll hand them out. No problem. These are our faces. There's me crying off in the corner. I'm only going to be there for one day for an epic event. The other three are going to be there slinging spells, and we're going to have a lot of fun. And
if you get a sticker, you got to slap it on something in Chicago, so that way we can like infiltrate the Chicago people and get
yeah,
them listening.
GB already beat Chicago, so we're already doing it. All right, and then lastly, just want to talk about some of the people that we like in our local area and want to promote. One of the big ones is the Mana Vault. If you haven't heard of the Mana Vault, if you're from the Milwaukee area or close to the Milwaukee area within driving distance, they have a ton of sweet events going on. So one of the ones that's coming up this weekend is the pre-modern tournament. Go to their website or go to their Facebook for their event page to get the descriptions. But I believe that gold border is allowed here. First place wins a Mox Diamond, and again, that's pre-modern. If you don't know what that is, take a deep dive. We have a podcast episode with Brian Cold about that, and pre-modern is the shit. Other events they got coming up are this weekend. They're going to be doing on Sunday a launch weekend draft with the new Ravnica Remastered. I don't know how many drafts are going to go, but it looks like there's a 24-player cap with a $40 entry, pack per win, and then collector packs based on record. And lastly,
Actually, find those packs at Walmart.
Yeah, they also not lastly,
Like right
but
now.
for those of you that love EDH or CDH, they have a 1K tournament coming up here on January 27th. First place wins $500. There's over $1,000 in prize total. CDH is really big in our scene, I guess. It's one of those things that's kind of growing across the entire Magic universe, if you will. But again, if you're interested in CDH, go to their web or go to their Facebook page and look up the event. And then lastly, they have
writing commentary for that event. So
Josh is killing
get
it.
your name shouted out. Go play.
And then their 1-year anniversary is coming up, and they have an epic weekend to go along with that. With Friday, the draft anniversary special, which they're going to do a double Masters draft, which has a rare redraft. It's $75 to enter. There's going to be 3 rounds of Swiss, 32-player cap, must register. Again, you can register at topdeck.gg. They also have a Saturday on February 17th, CDH tournament for a unlimited time twister. For those of you that want a piece of power, this is your chance to go get one. So go to this. It's a $100 entry. It's a little steep, but again, you're playing for power. And the last thing to cap off the weekend is going to be on Sunday. They're going to be playing Legacy. A Legacy tournament for, looks like 4 different dual lands. First going to be Volcanic Island, second move for a Trop, third Bayou, and fourth Taiga, and then 5th or 8th, $100 in cash. But again, please sign up for these events. These are 64-player caps, so do not miss out on these. But again, if you love CDH, EDH, draft, you name it, they have this epic weekend coming up here in February for their anniversary, plus the other events I look. But again, just check them out on Facebook. They have all their events there. And again, go to topdeck.gg to see and register all those events. All right. This week's show notes, we're going to do a little bit of a Magic Roundtable. Proxy discussion is ramping up again. Why? I'm done with proxies. Tony is. Getting DQ is pretty cool. Poor attendance at the SCG, WotC, Why You Lion, Secret Layers, Dogs and Cats, Pioneer Masters 2025, is Magic going to die? And then we're going to redo the ranking on our keyword abilities. I want to tweak it because I wasn't happy with how flying is S tier, but we're going to, we'll tag it. I know. All right, Josh, tell me what you did this weekend.
Friday, I went and played Standard F&M, which had 20 players, which is like I haven't played in a modern F&M that had 20 players in a long time. So like to see 20 players show up for Standard F&M was pretty awesome.
That is sick.
I went round 1. I played round 1. I drew I drew all lands.
Mm-hmm.
2. I think I lost in 3, and then so I was 0-2, and I went to round 3, and I played against Jeff Klibble here on the podcast.
He's smoking them.
And because it was like pack per win, we just decided to split it, so we both got a pack or whatever. It was
Sick.
2 packs per win, and we both split it, or we split it, so we both got a pack, which I got nothing or whatever.
All right.
But I had a blast. And then Saturday I did the coverage for the $1,000 Mana Vault
Legacy event.
that they had going on.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of fun. That like being first time like doing a live stream and like providing commentary for like live Magic. I had a lot of fun doing it. I actually kind of enjoy doing that more than I enjoy playing Magic because Magic is stressful.
Same.
But I had a lot of fun. I got to like smile and like not be stressed and enjoy Magic and like talk about the nuances of things and stuff. I had a lot of fun doing it, and I look forward to doing more.
Hell yeah, dude. Jeff, what'd you do?
So Friday I also went to F&M. I went and played Mono Red because I wanted to play test for the RCQ on Saturday.
Yep.
And round 1 I played against Mono Blue Tempo, and I lost in game 3 with my opponent at 2 life on turn 4 and proceeded to draw 6 lands, as Mono Red always does. Round 2 I played against Soldiers. They stomped me game 3. And then me and Josh played, we split, and we played 2 games. He got game 1, I got game 2, and then we just stopped. I picked up a bunch of cards because I'm trying to build blue-white aggro, not Soldiers, but the aggro version.
Yeah.
Where it runs like Schooners and it's like 4 Tidebinders, I think. But after talking to a bunch of people about Saturday, I was like, you know what? I think I actually might play Mono Blue Tempo, because it's like actually really good against the Soldiers deck right now.
Yeah.
Well, show up to the RCQ, and I think it was 29 people, and there was only 1 Soldiers deck, but it was a bunch of Domain, which Mono Red does really good against, and I was registered with Mono Blue.
Yeah.
Lost game 1, game 2, or round 2, I played Domain back to back and lost. Or no, round 1 was Domain, round 2 was Red Green, which that deck is pretty nuts. Like they can have really explosive turns and deal like almost 20 damage on turn 2/3. Lost to them in game 3, and then
I lost to him too.
Nice.
That's who I lost to.
Okay. And then round 3, I played against the Esper version of my deck. Not Esper Rafine, but like literally the Esper version of Mono Blue Tempo.
Yeah.
And we were kind of just having fun. We both knew we didn't have a shot at top 8 because there was only like 1 X2 that was going to get in, and going 0-2 wasn't going to get you there. So we got to game 3, and we both kept like a 1-lander, and we are like, oh, never had it, or always had it when we drew the land, kind of just messing around, giving each other pointers about stuff. Then we went to round 4, and I played against Esper Control.
Yeah.
And I haven't played against someone like this in a long time. My opponent basically was tilted before game 1 was over, even though he won game 1.
Yeah.
I got him game 2 pretty fast, like just countered everything he did, had a Chrome Shark sit out, and was able to like just constantly like flip my tokens. And he like made a comment right away, like after the game. He was like, oh, it's just like these stupid fucking Bant decks, nobody's playing meta. And I literally was just like, it is meta. It might not be like tier 1, but this is like tier 1.5. And I was like, and you realize the Bant deck's like tier 1, right? And he was like, no, it's not. And I was like, you realize you're not playing a meta deck, right?
Just this guy's a shoe.
And I actually should have beat him game 3. I swung for 26, but I miscounted the 2 life from the Wanderer.
Yeah.
And so he like survived and backswung, but then like because he won, his like attitude quickly changed. And he was like, oh, what'd you lose to? And I was like, Domain. And he was like, oh, I'm designed to beat that deck. And I was like,
a likely story.
Congrats.
Yeah, you're 1-3 now. I don't know about that, bud.
Yeah,
but
whatever.
So the RCQ wasn't great for me. I should have just stuck to playing Mono Red, but like I also have experience with Tempo, so I wasn't like super worried about like the fact that I hadn't played it in a bit.
Yeah.
But I'm really enjoying Standard, man. Like I know a lot of people are kind of complaining about the Domain deck because the Angel is insane. I don't even care about Atraxa, man. Like Tidebinder handles that, but the Angel is just nuts, man.
The kicking one?
Yeah. Card
dude.
is dude, it kills Hwat Legion, so like those were never really like a problem. And I don't know, the deck is very good. Don't get me wrong. I think it's very beatable, but it is very good.
Yeah.
I heard something cool about, or not cool, but like a good play against Tishana's Tidebinder, where if you like slip it out the back, or if you phase it out, it like brings your, so like say they Tidebinder your creature or whatever, if you phase it out, you get your creature back, and then when it phases back in, it like Tishana's Tidebinder like has no ability anymore.
Well, yeah, I mean that's
Yeah.
the same as any target ability with anything that involves phasing out or bouncing.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Right, but like in it, like if you were to like flicker it or whatever, or like it's like a way to do it without killing it, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, yeah. I did get to Tidebinder a manland. That was pretty cool.
That is dope as
That's like
hell.
one of the top things.
Like he went to
do.
activate it, and I was like Tidebinder,
Snipe.
and he was like, "Yep."
Yeah.
And someone brought up like, why didn't he just activate it in response? I was like, because it becomes a creature, because he needed it to have the flying. But I was like, it becomes a creature, and then it loses flying because the Tidebinder ability goes through, and now he just has a 2/3 on the ground.
You can, even if you activate it, your Tidebinder ability is still on the stack, so at some point it's going to lose all its abilities, so it doesn't matter. Anyways.
Well, and the crazy part is if you activate it again and the Tidebinder goes through and it becomes just a 2/3, you can't tap it for mana either.
That's pretty.
Because it loses that mana ability.
That's funny. Just keep it as a vanilla 2/3.
Yep.
Yeah. That's pretty dope.
I actually don't think it turns back into a land because it loses all abilities.
Yeah, so like the going to become a land at the end of the turn is gone too. That's turned off.
But besides that, been playing a lot of Vintage Cube. I know I sent the picture to the group before, but I had an opponent play a ring after I played Questing Beast. I swung, killed him, and he proceeded to message me telling me that Moto was bugged. and I just responded with reading the card explains the card.
Yeah, I think Questing Beast is like the all-time greatest mid-level card ever.
Nobody reads that card.
It's like you don't respect it because you're like casting. You're like, it's just like a 4/4 with Visions. I don't care. And then you're like, it's got 30 other abilities, man. Just pick up the card. Don't be too cool to be like, I know what
Your
he does.
picture is currently on the front page of MTG Cube right now.
What is?
That picture of
that I sent you.
Questing Beats and the One Ring is on the front page of MTG Cube right now.
Oh,
it's
that's
like the
amazing.
#1 post. There's a bunch of people commenting.
Well, I'm glad you're getting clout for it.
Hell yeah, dude. Let's
Because I don't use Reddit.
You should.
Not because I think it's dumb, just because I think it would.
No
I'd become too obsessed with it.
Hell yeah, dude. All right. I did not play any Magic. Yeah, I played 0. I just have been trolling there under Earth. That's all. I'm just fighting with people online. What I do, like every time I take a shag, I gotta fight with somebody as I should to grunt this out. But with that, we can just keep moving along with the podcast. And I don't know, man. Something's going on. There's got to be something in the air because this proxy drama just keeps ramping up. And there's been some other elements that we'll get to that kind of have contributed to it. But I post this meme, and it's no longer just a meme. It's just people getting salty about proxies. It's proxies versus doping. Yeah.
Right, it's definitely like there is no middle ground. You're either hot on both sides or whatever. It's hot heads on both sides. And I'm so for the argument. No one cares.
Maybe it's an election year. That's why we're just like, you know what? I gotta pick a side. And I gotta
boy,
stand.
You're on it. Dude. Just wait until like election season happens that people start making like proxy versions of fucking Donald Trump and shit.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah. So, it just keeps going up. And Brian Bosch and Roll, he made a tweet about it and saying that he's a lifelong Magic player. And before COVID, like the idea of like proxies were just like nobody really talked about it. And now it's like throwing into the forefront that like all stores should be running proxies. Like if you're not running proxies, you're an idiot and so forth like that. And then like there's the inverse is like, no, stores shouldn't do that. And like, I paid for my cards, therefore you should fucking pay for your cards. Like that whole argument, which is just not a good argument of why there's proxies versus not proxies. I can tell you this. I'm fucking done with proxies. I hate hearing about it. The only exception I make to proxies is reserve list, proxy all you want, everything else, fucking buy it. And that's just the way I stand on it. I'm so tired of like all the other shit on it.
And don't use proxies in tournaments. No one, literally.
Those are counterfeits. Those are different.
Right. Literally zero people are like arguing to use proxies in tournaments that
outside
don't
of
allow
EDH.
No, I don't think you should use an EDH either.
No, I'm saying people advocate to use proxies in like EDH tournaments, but like outside of that, people don't advocate for it.
No, it's ramping up a lot, dude. People are angry about $8 shield rates. Like, I shouldn't pay for this card because if it gets banned, I lose money.
Okay, it's not an investment; it's a card game.
One of the biggest arguments.
Tell me about it. I was there when Tarmogoyf got reprinted.
Yeah, here's the thing: it's a collectibles thing. WotC doesn't set this price. They don't do that. It's a secondary market. Supply and demand is simple. Like there's a reason why Comet Storm has less printings than Shieldred, but Shieldred's an $80 or Shieldred's an $80 card, and Comet Storm, you find it in the bottom of your shoebox.
I remember that card was so bad that Modern Masters 1.
Yeah.
That like booths at like conventions would have, if you open Comet Storm in front of them, they would give you another pack for free.
That's funny. Yeah, just like the biggest blowout. Well, it's because everything was gold back then. But I wrote a tweet back to this thing, and it took off a little bit. Like when I initially took the screenshot, I was like, okay, I just want to remember that I did this, but it took off because there was a lot of response on it. And I honestly think, and we talked about it a little bit today in our like group chat. The reason why proxies is going through the roof is because the number one format that is played is an internal format. Like,
yeah, I agree.
That's really what it is.
That's all it is.
EDH blew up, and now everyone has been pushed into CEH, so everyone needs dual lands now. Well, like, have you gone on EDH Rec lately and like searched up a new commander, and the first deck you find has a fucking tabernacle in it? Like,
yep.
It's
like no wonder this deck's listed as $6,000.
Yeah. So the primary way
you don't need a tabernacle in your EDH deck.
Yeah, and I don't know if we ever touched on it, but like the death of Standard was truly with Oko, right? Like Oko came out, and like simultaneously like COVID happened on the like after Oko, but Oko came out and it just decimated Standard. Like we also were coming off like a year of Uro into like just blue green was just the greatest for like 2 years. And Oko
Hydroid Crisis.
Yeah. Teferi, like the 3 minutes Teferi. There's just like so many people hated
Teferi put people out of Standard too.
Yeah, so like that was like it was a sequence of things that ruined Standard, and it made people go like, I am fucking done with Standard, along with Arena popping off.
26 fans in 6 months or something like that.
I really think it was. I agree that like people weren't happy about like Oko and all that, but I really think it was COVID because like Oko was only in Standard for what, like I think it was like a month, 2 months at most before it got banned.
Yeah.
It was like Oko's like the fastest.
Yeah, it might have been less than a month.
No, Geological Appraiser's the fastest.
Yeah. Huh? Geological Appraiser.
Maybe one of the fastest bands. Yeah.
We're not. That's after that happened years.
Actually, no, Lutri is, but.
Yeah, it was pre-banned.
But like people were unhappy with Standard, and then COVID hit, and we couldn't go and play in person. So then everyone played Arena, and then that killed Standard even more because instead of it being, I play Standard once a week at F&M, you played 1,000 matches in a week, and you're like, well,
yeah,
this format's not changing fast enough. And it's like, well, yeah, you're playing 1,000 matches. It's gonna feel that way.
Yeah. And Modern was like the prevailing go-to format. Like it was.
Oh, back then, yeah.
It was like even after like the last era that I remember people liked Standard, I think was Hazoret Red. That was like the last time that people talked about Standard like in an effective way. And there was different decks, but like
there was a ban during that time period too.
Yeah, there had to be. There are bans, but like, this is an era that we're talking about, and this goes back to a little bit to proxies, but like people, like the fact that you get to buy Eternal cards and they stay valuable, like especially our like reserve list. Like there was a Standard once upon a time where people had to play Jace. You had to play Jace, and that was like there was no alternate. There was nowhere to go with Jace other than Standard because back then we didn't have Pioneer, we didn't have Modern. And like Legacy was fringe. Like it was just a fringe format. Like people played it, but it was fringe. So Standard, you had to own 4 copies of Jace for $100 pop. They banned Jace, and you got blown the fuck out. That was so bad because you had nowhere to take your Jaces. They just sat in a binder and they just kind of rotted away, you know. With EDH and all that being the forefront of like the world, like, so I come down to this, and Josh, you said a little bit. CDH is it's what's pushing all these cards to be insane prices. Like Cyclonic Rift has had 2 reprints last year, and the card still maintains a $30 price tag, right?
And it's getting a reprint tomorrow.
Yeah, It's maintaining like a high price tag, and like the reason for that is because people don't want to choose alternatives. Yeah. They just don't want to go like, I'd rather play an Aetherize, which is a lesser version of the card, but it still does what a similar version. But they're like, yeah, you know what? I have to have the best version of this card because I want to be the best. And
there's one person in my pod who has whose deck is tuned all the way into as good as it can be, and that pushes everyone else in the pod to have to tune their deck up to see EDH.
I gotta say this. I'm so like CDH annoys me, but what annoys me even more is someone's like, I have a power level 7. I went to EDH or the CDH deck list, took a deck list, copied the 99, changed 10 cards, and I'm no longer CDH. Like, no, you fucking are. Like, quit the shit. Like, your deck is fine tuned. Like, knock it off. They're like, it's my own deck. See, it's different. It's not. It's not different. It's lame. Like,
right.
Like, stop
you made
playing
a
CDH.
Variant. That's all you did.
Yeah, just stop.
Like,
playing
I'm not saying like I occasionally like to play a CEDH game, but like trying to talk to people about EDH is spoiled now because of CEDH's existence. So when you want to talk to me about EDH, it's like, how long before the conversation becomes about CEDH? Like, how many like passes of like interaction talking does it take to get to the CEDH talk? Where it's like, oh, I play EDH. Oh, I just bought a Mana Crypt and a Lion's Eye Diamond and a Mox Diamond for my deck, and I'm like, oh, great, so you're a CEDH player.
Yeah.
So, I want to. The only comment I have about that is I think if you only add Mana Crypt, I don't think that makes you CDH.
Right.
It's fine.
It's just a second Soul Ring.
Right. Sure. I feel that too, but like I'm just saying it like.
Dual Lotus, on the other hand,
the progression, it progresses the deck.
Yeah.
Like you inevitably are gonna want more.
Right, but let's throw this in the fray. You play a green deck. What are the 5 1-drops that you're playing? For sure, Llanowar Elf, Elvish Mystic, Arbor Elf, Birds of Paradise, something, Finhorn Elves.
What about the Shepherd?
Sure, Alice Rose Shepherd. Throw that in there. So you have 6 1-drops already just taking all those slots. That's green deck. So it's not like you go against a green deck ever and you don't see those 6 cards or 5 cards. You don't see like someone's like, hey, I built a green deck that's like artifact based. That doesn't exist. Nobody's playing that because you need to play these 6 goddamn elves. And these 6 goddamn elves are unfortunately this CDH driven thing. You're not just playing 1, you're not playing 2, you're playing 6.
There's too many staples for each deck now. Like Wizards is kind of like shoehorned people into playing. So, like I heard someone say this once, that if you don't want to be shoehorned into things, build a deck and then find a commander that fits the colors instead of picking a commander and building a deck around it.
Yeah, fair.
Because then you're not like, when you pick a commander, there's already like, 20, 30 cards that are built for this deck specifically, versus if I build an Esper deck and like by the time I get to the end of it, I can be like, I'm just gonna put Rafine at the head of it because it matches the colors, or I'm gonna play these partners because they draw me cards and I need more draw.
Yeah,
I think it's the better way to go about it, because like I feel like CDH happens just because people are like, oh, I really like Dragon and I like dragons. Well, you have to play these staples now, otherwise you're just not gonna do well.
Yeah, you're gonna sit there and be like, why is everybody winning and I'm just like stuck on 4 lands here?
Yeah.
I think my advice also is to, instead of like thinking about like your CEDH deck and having to beat other people, I think you'll have a much better time if you find a core group of people, like your own personal commander pod, and you only play with those people.
That's the truth.
That's true. That's what we do. In fact, we have our meetup in next weekend.
Yep, next weekend is when we go play EDH. It's like you'll have a much better time if you just have like your friends who you guys all have the same like understanding, right? And then you'll be fine. But like you start going out and playing in public, and then everyone wants to win, so everyone's playing the best cards and blah 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 blah. Like, and then you end up with these conversations about, oh, I need to proxy this Chains of Mistopheles or whatever.
Yeah.
I also think the difference is when you go out and play in public, unless it's like, at a convention where your free play tables, most of the time when you're going out in public, you're playing for something.
Yep.
And I feel like
Right.
EDH being played for something ruined the format also because now you have to win. Otherwise, you're spending $10 and getting nothing, and no one likes that feel. I hate paying $6 and playing standard and not winning. Like, I don't get upset about it, obviously, but I obviously want to win. Like,
Right.
versus where if I was just playing for fun, I really don't care who wins.
Yeah. I mean, it's the greatest casual format that was like honestly adopted.
Monetized.
Well, it was adopted by competitive players, and they've just shat all over it.
Right.
Agreed.
And
What was there was even a Flash got banned in EDH because the CEDH community pleaded for Sheldon to ban Flash.
like, what do? You ruined your
It's like,
format.
even
Well,
in the
yeah, because
ban
wasn't Protean Hulk was banned, then unbanned, and then they banned Flash instead.
It's something like that.
Something
It was
something like that.
they made it available, and it was like, "Are you playing Flash? No, you're not CDH." It was like, "Okay, cool." But yeah, all right. That's all.
The last thing I have to say about EDH and finding your own core group, it is a good idea unless you're friends with Josh and Antonio, because Josh started building Shieldred EDH, which is fine. One of them I can deal with. So Antonio got a Shieldred for standard and was like, well, I'm going to build that EDH deck now. So I get to play in a pod next week and have 2 Shieldred EDHs. So it's real annoying.
Turn
I'm going to
one?
play Nerfo, Tidebinder, and all the clones. That's all I'm going to
you know
do.
what-
Antonio plays Shieldred, I'm gonna play Perforus.
Yeah. All you need to do is just play like Meddling Mage, and then like give it like Lightning Greaves, and be like,
Tidebinder.
hopefully you have a sack outlet.
Sadly, blue white is like one of the few. I have mono red, Grixis, green blue, and red white. So
Play a mono white one that plays. Here's the thing: play a card called Nevermore. It's white 1 enchantment, and I think these two guys are going to be optimal. Ain't no black enchantment rule running that deck.
Oh yeah, there is.
You're like,
My favorite. Want to hear about my favorite card? Meteor Golem.
you son of a bitch.
I am running. What is it? Phyrexian Unlife and the other card combo. So screw them and their life loss.
Nice. All right.
I have
Disqualified.
Meteor Golem and Perforos too. I put that card in every deck I can. I love Meteor Golem, dude. I love that card.
This is the craziest.
Well, I mean, that's what happens. But, I mean, just so you guys know, if you're playing Magic in 2024 and you're serious, bring your goddamn loop and bring your goddamn
Your weight.
Yeah,
your
weight.
scale.
Yeah, bring your scale and everywhere. And every time that you buy a card, you're like, all right, let me loop and weight it. But this last weekend, the SCG, and we'll talk about the low numbers. That SCG only had 241 attendance. However, an individual top baited the event, and his deck happened to have 4 fake Ragavans. The judge saw this and was like, okay, these are fake. And then, unfortunately, that person who top baited had to be disqualified. Yeah, that's just the competitive rules enforcement.
You have to take it at how it was, and the fact was, yeah, his deck was playing counterfeit cards or whatever.
Yeah. And this,
regardless of if he was unknowledgeable as to they were fake or not, like, it doesn't matter. The fact is they were in his deck.
yeah, it's the player's
And it's
responsibility.
upsetting.
Yeah. It led into the discussion of saying, why couldn't the judges just let him proxy this? And it's obviously,
I mean, at that point, if they're fake, they're already a proxy, aren't they?
Like in this instance, I don't think
this
it would
one.
be-
Yeah, this is a different
Yeah,
instance.
yeah.
A Ragavan instance, I think it was correct to not give him a chance to have proxies, because like what you did was clearly against the rules. Whereas, like, in this instance where the guy got a game loss for having marked cards as the 3 near mint serialized worm coils, which were like bent because wizards can't get the foiling process wrong.
yeah.
This is acceptable because the guy wasn't, like, these were legit game pieces
Yeah.
or whatever.
But
This would have been an excuse for the judges to give him give him a proxy, but instead he had to go buy worm coils.
Yeah, so this is the second instance of what I'm showing on the screen is there's a, like as Josh was saying, another guy got a game loss because he had 3 serialized worm coil engines in his deck because Wizards can't get it together because they're fucking idiots. Maybe have, retain one of those employees to just check your fucking foiling. This guy could not play with his cards that he spent a pretty big amount of money on. And they were near mint.
$2,300 for those 3 worm coils.
Yep, and not tournament legal. So good job, Wizards. Figure it the fuck out, man. But we're like fuck you and your stupid product. Figure it out. Like I don't know how else to get it like this through. Like
apparently that guy's deck was entirely foil too.
Yes.
Like I don't understand how.
That's
these ones had to have been egregious for them to stand out in an all foil deck. They had to have been egregious.
Yeah.
And that's that's Wizards' fault. Get it together. Yeah. Those are you want to have these serialized Magic cards. They should be the best product you have ever put out.
You literally can spend the extra goddamn money. I don't know what to tell you.
Right.
This product
zero excuse, and that even goes as far as Post Malone. I saw the picture of the 1/1 ring.
I was just gonna say, do you think that thing's a Pringle yet?
Fuck yeah, it's a Pringle.
I saw the image. It is a Pringle. That's why it's not a 10 either.
Yeah, how fucking stupid. I mean,
yeah, it's absolutely bizarre. Wizards should be absolutely ashamed of themselves because this is something you're using to get people to buy packs or whatever. That you just had the record-selling year. There's absolutely zero reason why after 10 years our foils are still Pringles.
I mean, I will say this: I'm part of that problem because I still buy product. I should stop buying product.
Same.
The downside is stop buying product is you hurt the stores. That's really what it comes down to. But for fuck's sake, man! I brought it up last week.
It's not. Yeah. Like you were saying, Lorcana has it down. One Piece has it down.
Dude, they look glorious.
Every other card game does.
I'm not entirely privy to Pokemon, but I'm pretty sure Pokemon has it down too.
I'll show you the Charizard I have laying around. It's fucking great. It's the 151. It looks crisp. Dude,
Magic is the only card game, and I play a lot of card games, or have played. Is the only card game I've ever played where foils have curled.
The old ones didn't. Unless they were in unless they were in the muggy basement.
They coiled the other way. It was because they absorbed moisture. Whereas these ones are too
I don't get me
dry.
wrong. There are conditions, but you can legit buy a pack of Magic cards, open it, and as you're taking out the foil, it's starting to go. You're like, come on, man! I just fucking bought this thing.
So I talked about this on Saturday at the RCQ. I got an Amazon gift card for Christmas, so I bought a box of Aftermath.
Yeah,
because there were $48 on Amazon, and I had none of the cards from it because I didn't buy that set. And I was like, screw it, $48 for a box, why not? I'll have fun ripping open packs. Because there is only 5 cards in each pack, and there is a guaranteed foil. Every pack was curled before opening. I literally picked it up, and you could see the pack bent, and I was like, wow. So non-foil cards were even curled. They've come down now that I've taken them out. Plus my gaming room is very hot, so it's not very moist in here.
Yeah.
A lot of them have come down, but the foils are ruined. And I opened up foils of stuff that I need for decks for standard, and I can't play them.
Yeah, it's just shameful, man.
I have always, for at least since I started my tournament grinding, which was how long ago was that, Jeff? Probably 7 years ago is when we started the tournament grinding.
Yeah.
With SCG and Energy.
And I have refused to play foils in my deck, and that's something most tournament grinders know, is to not play foils in your deck. But at the same time, this guy has his pet foil Tron deck. Why shouldn't he be able to play that?
Sometimes. Oh, go ahead.
So many people have that were into foils. The problem is you could get old foils, right? You get old fetch lands that are foil, and they're great looking, and they don't curl and so forth because they just whatever card stock and foiling process infinitely better. They can't play new foils, so now they have to have this weird fucking 50-50 split, which can lead to marked cards and all that other shit. It's dude, just Wizards. We're asking one thing. I'll ask you this question, and then I'll get back to you, Jeff.
Or stop printing them. Either fix the foils or stop doing it.
Yeah. do you think we would, as a community, would be like, hey, let's, we don't play Wizards come out. They're $6. Would you spend an additional $7 on every, like, have a $7 pack? I know this might be argumentative, but $7 pack to say this $1 that everybody fucking donates to Wizards to fix your fucking foiling. Can you please do that? Please increase my price by $1, and I will gladly have foils that are acceptable. But if you can't, fuck you.
So normally I would agree with you, but the reason I would say no to that is the simple fact that they keep bragging that they have record-breaking years. They just laid off all these employees, which is going to save them so much money. Yeah. So if anything, they should be picking up the cost of that.
You just gained how many fucking employees that you had to pay out? You gained that many salaries, you pieces of shit. I'm just being.
The only other thing I was gonna say too is what sucks about it is, like, I agree. Like, I try not to play foils in like big tournaments, but sometimes that's the only version of a card you have.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And like, I really like, if I have a foil Shieldred, I'm not gonna go out and buy a non-foil one to replace it.
And then good luck trading it. Like,
another.
Yeah.
And if you take it to a store, you're looking at maybe the highest you're going to get in trade-in value is like 60-70%, which, I mean, is understandable because it's a store, but no one also wants to take that hit.
Yeah, I don't think all foils, there should not be a near mint foil category anymore. It should be like played. Everything should be fucking played, and then like played, Pringle. Yeah, played, Pringle, Commander Legends first one, and then just fucking complete circle. Like,
I've seen, like, there's some old foils that are pretty damaged, and like they have a look flat.
Yeah.
No, like they're all like scratched or like whatever. They turn like white.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about when you see like a really rough old foil that's been like on the sidewalk.
Yeah, they've been fucked up. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, old foils aren't perfect, but they were acceptable. Now they're just whatever.
Right. But yeah, even like those sidewalk old foils or whatever, they're not going to get you, as long as you're sleeved, you're not going to get a judge call on you for your marked deck or whatever.
Yeah. Good luck cutting to it. But yeah, moving on from that, let's talk about the SCG Cincinnati. Literally was a 20K and only 231 people showed up. It's not a result of Wizards. It's SCG shot themselves in the foot. They got rid of live coverage. They didn't advertise. Cedric Phillips goes into a long thread about it, about all the factors of SCG. Of like, it sounds like they're internally are like, we want out. Like, we don't want to do Magic anymore. They're doing Flesh and Blood tournaments and stuff like that. I think they want to get away from Magic, and that's not good because those were one of the juggernauts of Magic. And then Troll and Toad is also like, we're no longer dealing in Magic cards. Like, it's not good.
That's the thing. The thing is, it's like in this post, he says, not to mention it's also Modern, the most popular constructed format. I don't think that's true.
No,
he's wrong.
Modern's been on a steep decline for the last year.
Hi, Ollie. I'm here.
Since, what was that, Modern? Ollie's here?
No, he's just in the chat.
Modern's been on a steep decline since Modern Horizons 2 came out. Like, it's been declining since that.
It was on an uptick for a while after that. It was Lord of the Rings, I think, that really was the final nail in the coffin.
Yeah.
I remember people saying Modern was terrible for a while. Even before Lord of the Rings, but
really took off when MH2 came out. A lot of the decks appeared out of nowhere. Obviously, the format eventually solved itself, and Red Blue was at the forefront for a while.
Yep.
But that people complained about it, but people are always going to complain about decks. People complain about Domain and Standard. Don't get me wrong. Again, the deck is good. I don't think anything needs to be banned.
Mm-hmm.
But once Lord of the Rings came out, giving us Bowmaster and the Ring, it just kind of pushed Scam into where it wasn't unbeatable, but it almost was.
Sure.
And then Fury went, and now it's just the One Ring everywhere.
Yeah. There's some inherent problems with One Ring, but this is something that's always going to be of products that Wizards comes out with. No matter what happens, if they have a selling product, no matter how good the card is, you're going to have to wait till it's out of print, or they're done putting off the presses, or at least that distributors can get rid of them, and then they'll move on, and then they'll make a move. Because the Grief one, we were saying that since summer about like Grief and Fury, and then it took them all the way to December. And I know that they were like, "Hey, by the way, another print run of Modern Horizons 2 is coming," and they did that other print run. And then when they were done with the print run, they're like, "All right, we sold all the fucking product. Fucking get rid of it." And it's like, that's just what they're going to do. If the card is currently in print, and the exceptions are like Oko, obviously, and then I guess Geological Appraiser, but the cards aren't worth anything. If the cards are pushing packs, One Ring, Orcish Bowmasters, it's not getting touched. It won't. It's just not going to get touched. And
the One Ring's not going to get touched at all because of licenses, I'm sure.
Yeah. So, like, with that being said, like, if they make a broken card, that's a premier card that we just are something like you're more likely to see like Lorien's Reveal get banned because it's a common versus the One Ring, which is completely dominating. You know. And that's just the world we live in, and if that breaks a format, whether it's Modern, whether it's Legacy, or wherever these things are inserted, that's just what we have to deal with. And
6 more months until something else comes up.
Yep. And when the Fallout set comes out, we'll talk about the One Ring and see if it lasts. But
it's like March.
Well, that's only Commander decks. That's not going to be a Modern.
Either way, whatever is the next hot print thing that they're doing. Well,
Final Fantasy comes out this year, and it's going to be a set like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, so that's pretty big. MH3 is coming out this year, which is a colorless theme. So if you haven't gone and got your Eldrazi, your Temples, or your Eye of Ugins, like, don't fuck that up. And you better believe they're going to unban Eye of Ugin because that's what they did with Hogak. They're like, go Grave Troll. It's good. So go get your good cards now. Don't fucking sit on that stuff. But yeah, either way, SCG is the juggernaut that it once was is fading. Maybe if it was a standard tournament, it would have popped up, but I just think they don't care anymore. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised that this is the last year of their tournament series for Magic.
Yeah.
Like they have the SCG con, but
unless it has like a giant like turnaround and like people start going to those things again, but
no,
I doubt it. Like
no
even,
coverage.
Like, people aren't doing anything anymore. Like even like the festival scene is like that's something I've been doing for like a while now too.
Mm-hmm.
That's like in a steady decline across the board, and like festivals that have been around for years are not happening again anymore because of low ticket sales. It's like on top of the like issues we're facing in Magic, the economy isn't helping anyone.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to weather the storm. So, don't have your money in the bank. Buy cardboard. Buy things that go up, like doors.
Yeah.
Right, but like, all right, so you do that, but it still costs money to like commute to Cincinnati and get a hotel.
Also, I think maybe the day and age of like traveling things at such a grand scale, like there's like only 4 MTG or a Magic Con, so that's kind of cool, and they have a lot of celebrities there, so like those who are in the community love that. But like SCG, like all the SCG known names are not there. They're not promoting. They're not making stars anymore. So there's nobody to like go see. Like I can't go see Jerry Thompson, right? He might have showed up. I don't know, but they're not paying him to show up anymore. Or Cedric Phillip, if you're a huge fan of him, he's not doing an announcement. Patrick Saul, all those guys are gone. They're not there. So like all the stardom that kind of drives people. And I know this is a small community, right? It still brings people to consistent. Oh, I'll go see my, like if LSV shows up somewhere, people still like I want to go see LSV. I want to go see him,
right.
You know, and that's just the way it is. All right, you done goofed, Watsy. So I'll just say this: I don't care that.
This too.
What's
I
up?
had to have you show me.
Yeah, on the screen I have showing here. Look at how good these Shocklands look. Old Border. And the way that they're set up is it's on this table, and they show this background art that's there. The background art is clearly AI. I don't care that you use AI art. I really don't give a shit anymore. Like this is a battle that's gonna have to be adopted by most people. Like, yeah, like companies are gonna go, I don't want to pay artists anymore. Once this technology gets to the point where it's good, we're gonna move past artists, and that's gonna be the end of the lifeline. So as far as artists go, you should learn to work with AI. And this is a different subject, but either way, Watsy said, we understand the confusion by fans given that the style being different than the card art, but we stand by our previous statement. This art was created by humans and not AI. Okay? So the community goes, excuse me. So there's some clear AI indications, which they show I have in the photo here, but just if you haven't toyed around AI art, this might be hard to see, but I fuck around with it all the time just because it's fun. Like the memes that we do, just like, hey, show Josh sucking a cow's teat, stuff like that.
We do some pretty gnarly AI arts.
Yeah.
So, but there's a style that's to them that is, once you've kind of picked up on like the things that are just like what is that called when it's not human, like Silicon Valley, is that what it's called? The Silicon Valley effect.
Sure.
Oh,
I forget
do
the name of
believe
it.
I know what you're talking about.
It's the thing that like just it's the distinction for us as humans to identify that things are off. Like you see like a robot and you're like, that face it looks like a human, but I can clearly tell it's not a human. I can't explain why it's not a human, but I can tell. AR
Like
has the same.
talon.
There you go. Thank you. Much appreciated, Quicksilver. The uncanny valley. And that's what AIR looks like. Immediately the internet showed them, and then there was the day after. We made a mistake earlier. We said that the market image was not posted by created using AI. Read more, and then if you read more, it says like, yeah, it was used by AI. Can we just stop being?
Or continue on.
I was like, can we just stop being treated like idiots? Like, please, for the love of God. That's all I ask from Wizards. Like, we're not stupid. Just don't lie. You'll get a brownie point for not lying.
About the existence of the uncanny valley shows that we evolved to need that trait, which is something that happened over centuries. So like centuries ago, there was a reason to like not realize someone was human, which is a scary thought.
Yeah, for sure.
Or wasn't human.
It could have just been as simple as like why like tangent. I'm gonna edit this out, but with the
people
tangent,
use it for aliens all the time.
Well, it's like when you show like aliens, but I would say it's like when you show there's something like if you show like why humans are scared of the dark, and the reason why is because centuries of us being in the dark and seeing like a monster, would call it a jaguar, that's in the dark. You just see the eyes. It's frightening because we've had years and years and like ancestral traits that have come to us where we see an object in the dark and we panic, and that's because they might connect that to like, hey, when we were in caveman times, we were eaten by tigers and jaguars. You saw the eyes and you panicked and you knew you were gonna die, and that's just something. And same with bugs. Like we have an inherent we're a fear of bugs. So that's not something you teach. Bugs. Yeah, but like you see a spider, and people freak out, even though it's fucking a size of a dime. You're like, I don't know why, but that's just whatever. Again, Wizards, you done goofed. I don't know, like, just be honest with us.
I did hear that they outsourced this advertisement to like a third party. So
that's an excuse. No,
I'm just giving conversation.
Yeah.
But they outsourced, and there was like a confusion with the contract or like the discussion, and that's why like they went back on it. Obviously, I mean, obviously we'll never know if that's true or not. But if you're gonna outsource, man, like, check your shit before you like double down on that it's not AI. Then
all you have to do is just like go around the office. Hey, should I send this tweet before I send it? The marketing team before just like, no, I'm right. Just as always, I'm right.
To be fair, their marketing team is also like 2 people, I think, because they don't put like any effort into their marketing teams, or they're like,
yeah. So what you want to do with your marketing team is just create a constant distrust. Yeah, you know what, Wizards, keep going on the path that you're doing. Piss us off with foils, fucking lie to our faces. Keep doing that, and then do bullshit like serialized cards that suck. Yeah, keep going.
I think it's futile to like fight the AI movement, especially in like adverts or whatever. I think it's like, I think using them in adverts is fine, but like you should like if you're going to use AI in that whatever, do it there. But if you're going to be serious about it, you should be serious about AI and actual artwork for Magic cards. You should like keep the artists alive that way and leave the AI art for like the adverts or whatever.
You don't think?
Make sure that your product is being produced with actual art.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a plausible idea, though. Sadly, because
think...
the more and more AI becomes better, the more and more a corporation is going to want to save money, and the easiest way to cut corners would be like, we just won't pay artists. We're just going to have AI art.
Yeah.
And there's art, and we've like. AI art has been out for all of a year, and we've already had Magic artists using AI art.
Yeah,
so,
you don't think Chris Cox is foaming at the mouth, being like, I can't wait to fucking cut all these artists that are contracted. Fuck these motherfuckers. I can't wait till they're gone.
So
sure there's someone in the room that's saying that.
Yeah.
I asked Tony this, Josh, when you weren't here before the cast, and I guess the listeners, like, you can, comment on this too. So you know how they just laid off all these employees from Wizards?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think the community would have been more upset if instead they cut all their contracts with artists and decided to use AI for cards and keep the employees they had already? Because I feel most of those artists that they have contracts with have other jobs because I feel like it can't be lucrative to only draw for
No.
Magic. So, do you think people would be more or less upset if they would have like decided to cut ties with artists and use AI and keep the employees they had?
I mean, more.
Do you think people would be more upset?
Yeah, because you're not just hitting the Magic community anymore. Like when they fired 1,100 employees, that was isolated to Hasbro. You know.
Yeah, no, I get that.
If you
It
go
wasn't
and
an
go,
1100 watt C.
well, yeah. So if you do, we're gonna cut all artists. The entire artist community comes after you. It's not. I mean, the Hollywood went on strike,
agreed.
right? Like because of the writers strike, right? So you're gonna, from a publicity standpoint, it's gonna be way worse. Like the world's gonna
And
hear
anyone
you.
listening, by the way, I'm not saying I would have chose that. I don't need people coming at me and telling me I hate artists because I don't.
Well,
I'm just
you know.
was asking what people thought of that.
But yeah, it's just like Josh said, it's inevitable with AI art, and that's
I think for a lot of Magic players, art is what drove them into the game. Like
Yeah.
I can say back when I was a kid, what like made me so interested in Magic cards was the awesome art on every single Magic card. And that was and that's still what keeps me going. That's why I have like playmats of like landscapes or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I love that shit. And like you see me, I change my background art every week.
yeah.
Like I love the art in Magic the Gathering, so
Yeah.
that would make me upset. I'd be more upset that way. And I think a lot of players like that. I think there's a lot of people like me that the art is like probably their favorite part of the game.
Yeah, I think one of the coolest things about Magic, and this might be not set of new things, but if you were to ask players like what's their favorite art, I would guess that they come from a more like an older art versus the new stuff. And
I was
not to say,
definitely gonna say that.
I was saying the new stuff's probably not as good, and I only say that because I think the old art has a lot of charm to it, where it's like, draw this, but we have no like, there's servos in the set. This is what we want servos to look like, so make sure the servos in here. Whereas like, hey, you
Right.
draw your version of a servo, and like, all right, like I
That'd
will
be
try.
cool if there was like if the artist had like servo like free reign or whatever. And
Yeah.
Like we had 36 different looking servos in the set. That would have been something cool. I would have really liked that.
Yeah, I think that's what there's
We
a
like
charm
how
in
it
Magic.
was like back in like never mind, because like in Mirrodin, like original Mirrodin, all the mirror did have like a certain
Yeah,
like look.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm wrong, or maybe it was all the same artist. Maybe it was all the same artist that did all like the mana tapping mirror,
yeah, they might have. It might have been one guy or like a team
like
collabed
Iron
on it.
mirror and
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, it wouldn't be hard. It wouldn't be a harm to look, but either way, like you go back to like the pre-modern borders or the old border stuff, and like it's just all like art is all over the place. Like a spined worm versus like a crawl worm, they look so fucking different. They're not the same.
I love me some worm.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I think a big part of that too is back then they didn't have any reference points. Like
Yeah.
they were being like the first time those things were being made. Where now when someone's like draw Loxodon, well, there's been like 40 or 50 Loxodons printed, so you kind of have to stick to this like template. Because if you make it look way too weird, people are going to be like, this isn't a Loxodon. This isn't what it's supposed to look like.
Right. Like when they tried to make the slivers
yeah.
humanoid.
Yeah, and
It's
people got really upset about it.
It's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, these are not aliens.
I feel like the ability for free range with like design is like a lot more limited because we have such a variety of like cards and story now.
Yeah, I mean, look at
But if you go to Guilds of Ravnica or whatever, maybe it wasn't Guilds of Ravnica, but like one of the two sets, whatever one had Simic in it, they didn't have enough time to design a concept for Simic. So like all the artists who did the Simic art all got to do
their
version of whatever they wanted.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the latest Return to Ravnica?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Simic was in Alliances of Ravnica. That was the second one.
Yeah,
Either way, yeah.
that one.
Return to.
Curses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that thing looks like a ball sack. So with that being said, I think the artist free range, and this is why some of these cards are like really cool. And you know when they do like the special version of things, and like Strixhaven's a great example. The design of Strixhaven's pretty like cut clear. Like we want Lorehold to look like this. We want whatever the Q1 Quadix, whatever the fuck it is.
Quandrix.
Yeah, Quadrix. We want it to look this way. But then they gave artist liberty on like, hey, you're gonna draw Day of Judgment, like, but you're gonna do there's a Japanese version which is like Chaos, and there's the Mystical Archive versions, and that's like where the cool art is, All right.
It's also where secret layers come in, because I know we're about to talk about that. Secret layers do allow for like kind of a more free reign to, like, normally there's a theme at least, but like you don't have to stick to this because the card is supposed to be like unique.
Yeah.
This is like to tag on to that. Like I like that we can get like the full art secret layer ish kind of cards in booster packs now, and I would much rather see way more of those. Like keep giving us those and just get rid of foil. Period. Like we don't need foils anymore.
Yeah, fuck foils. Okay.
No one wants foils anymore because they don't want to get DQ'd.
Yeah, please stop doing
Give
this.
us more full art. At least that's my.
My God, I just read the flavor text on the dog one.
Double the slobber, double the love.
I feel like that means something completely different than what Wizards thought.
So we got a team Edward and a team Jacob situation here. Okay, this is gonna be the theme for the year. Are you team dog? Are you team cats?
Dogs.
Damn, I'm dogs too.
I feel like JB likes cats.
I would have said cats until I owned a dog, and now that I own a dog, like cats can fucking kick rocks. Like fuck off. I have both, but they can just kick it. Yeah.
I will admit the only thing I like about cats is if I want to be lazy for a day, I don't have to take them outside.
Yeah, for sure.
Cats are a living lesson in consent.
Yeah, that is funny. But Secret Layer's coming out. It's the reprinted Anointed Procession. It looks like they're reversible, so one side's dog, the other side's cat. There's the theme for all the cards. They haven't revealed them yet, but cool idea. I like the idea. And dogs and cats are great. And comment if you're team dog or team cats.
Team dog.
Also, if you're gonna get that deck and play it, please double sleeve it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Is it an entire deck?
Yes.
Oh, I thought I misread that. I did not know that. That's actually
or at least I saw someone commented on our post saying it was supposed to be a deck. I thought.
Okay, well that's way cooler. I didn't know that.
I mean, I could be wrong, so don't take that for like 100% truth. But I swear someone commented saying it was like going to be another EDH deck.
Works for me, man. I'm
if I'm wrong, I apologize.
Like, coin flip one was cool, and then you only got one of the stupid lands in your deck, and that was like that would make me mad.
Wait, what? Oh, one of the flip lands.
Yeah, those things are worth infinite.
Yeah. Quicksilver, Team Dogs.
Team Dogs forever, Quicksilver. All right. Blogatog. And I got two things about the Blogatog today. Pioneer Masters. Someone's asking. There was a question that basically was proposed, asking, "Hey, do you ever see a master set coming to Pioneer?" And obviously, it's like, the response from Mark Rosewater is like, "It's definitely something that we've thought about and talked about, and which probably means like, hey, yeah, we're gonna
make money doing this."
Yeah, so injecting things into Pioneer, which would make it the new Modern, which Modern's the new Legacy, and so forth. Which is again.
Are we talking about Pioneer Masters, or are we talking about Pioneer
Horizons?
That's what I meant. I'm sorry, okay. Pioneer Horizons. No, so injecting new cards that would skip Standard.
We don't need that at all.
I think it's okay if you're bringing cards that aren't into the format, but adding new cards, I think, is a terrible idea. So, like, making like the elements, like if you're gonna add Tarmogoyf or Bob or something like that, I'm cool with that.
Do it through Standard.
Cool. I mean,
I like it. I would rather have Snapcaster go through Standard too. It depends on
what the card is, though, because I feel like some cards are still too powerful for Standard.
Master sets and like Horizon sets are like part of the reason, part of the like the detriment of Modern. Like we definitely don't.
I don't think Masters were good for
Masters.
Modern.
Injected it. Horizons decimated.
Horizons was terrible. I think Master sets are fine. Like reprint sets, like that's good.
Well,
I don't think we need a Pioneer Masters because we have every set, almost every set now has the bonus sheet of something that you
Good
can
point.
put whatever you wanted to get reprinted
agreed.
into that
Yeah, that's
bonus
actually a good
sheet or
idea. I didn't
whatever.
think
And
about
there's
that.
no reason, there's zero reason why any of the things that that you want to get reprinted can't be reprinted into a standard set.
Yeah. Is there any
Like,
cards that are?
there's no reason for a Pioneer Masters. What's the most expensive card in Pioneer outside of Shieldred, which is still in print? You can still get Shieldred in booster packs.
Yeah. So with that, is there a
Close.
card that is retired from Modern that would be too powerful for Standard? Like Tarmogoyf's a great example. I think Tarmogoyf in this day and age, put him in
Perfectly
Standard.
fine.
Yeah, put him in there.
Perfectly fine.
I mean,
I'm
we
curious.
don't need 30-cent
I'm
mythics, but
I'm iffy about Jace.
my
Honestly.
sculptor?
I think
there's no
the
fresh
Yes.
Planeswalkers are so. Planeswalkers are last year, dude. I think Jace would be fine.
And Jace is bad. I love that card. It's
Yeah.
fucking bad. It would be
Bad.
so bad. Like
There
there's
would be people slamming Jace to cast a brainstorm and then proceeding.
I mean,
to
if you would
read
have asked me before Ixalan, I would have told you Bloodbraid Elf was fine, but I mean, it's all right in standard. It's seeing like more and more play, and it is picking up more in standard. But we saw what that did to Pioneer.
Yeah. Okay, maybe. I don't know. I'm just I think Jace. I mean, that's
You
been
don't need
it's
more supplemental sets.
yeah. Jace has been retired like entirely. You could put Jace in standard, and I think he'd be average, which
I think
is saying
Bob
something.
might be too good.
Mm-mm.
Like Liliana the Veil is in standard right now, and
That
is
card
like
stinks.
Well, that
Right,
card's
that
been
was
dead
like-
in every format. That card hasn't been good in like
It's-
10 years.
It
same thing with
stinks.
Jace.
Yeah, same with the Jace. Like,
Jace was good less than 10 years ago.
okay, we'll call it
Same
5.
thing with Liliana the Veil.
We'll give you.
Liliana and Veil and Jace have had like
yeah.
the same lifespan.
Yeah.
it-
I mean,
regardless.
Like, let's look at standard, right? Like, if we analyze standard, like, they printed Uro better than Jace. They printed Oko fucking 20 times better than Jace. They printed other Aluris better than, like, they've printed other cards that are just, like, significantly better than, like, draw go is not a thing. Your cards need to ETB do 5 things. Jace was great in a world where, like, it's like, Baneslayer go. You're like, okay, cool, bounce your Baneslayer. Like, shit, I can't do anything.
Well, that's why I said I wasn't sure about Jace.
Yeah.
Like, it was more like just had to think about. I don't know. Like, maybe you can convince me that I think Bob would be too good for standard.
No, it's fine.
No.
All your heavy hitters are like 4. Like, the way you win the game is 4 CMC. Like, you can't afford.
There's already a Bob.
But I'm saying you're draw. Yeah, there's Phyrexian Arena at 3 mana.
Or
Like,
wedding announcement. That's much better than
Yeah,
Bob.
wedding announcement.
Way better.
Mm,
Oh, dude, for sure. Bob is cute. It's certainly like a world that I would love to go back to, and there might be a mono black deck that exists that's like aggro, but like Bob is like just medium. It doesn't have an ETB. You have to wait till it becomes alive. It can become a downside. The cards just don't come with downsides anymore. If you're playing cards that have like downsides, the upside has to be like, I won the game.
yeah, agreed.
Which
Like,
it just doesn't exist.
2024
Magic is nuts.
Yeah. Well, it's power creep.
I don't think Pioneer needs any of these supplemental sets. They
Boot
just
it.
need to focus on fixing the current environment, and instead of making more money, they already made a shit ton of money. They don't need to make more.
Yeah. All right. There was one thing I wanted to talk about as well that I posted today. Oh, I'm sorry. It's not that big of a deal, but more proxies. Cool.
I was like, what is that?
Stop posting, like, if you're listening to this, please stop posting about proxies on social media. I hate that it blows up my social media. Can
Yeah,
you talk
it's-
about something different?
All right.
Like, please.
So, the terminology beast is going away. It's not getting replaced. It's not getting errated as of now. But Rosewater said, like, hey, we're moving away from beasts. Like, meaning that we're going to do raccoon, chupacabra, or capyra. What the fuck is that?
Capybara, you moron.
Yeah, chupacabra. Llama.
La Llama.
Yeah, llama. I can't read. That's been identified. I need people to read. I need to play the card on Magic Online to see what it actually does, or Arena and be like, all right, now I understand now. But yeah, they're not gonna lump everything into beasts. So, for those beast tribal
I
decks,
hope we still
sorry.
get beasts though, because I like that creature type.
There's cards that are dedicated to saying like beast cycling or ETB, go find a beast, or beast cost less.
Bagheera.
Yeah.
So what's gonna happen to all the cards that say like
They're not-
target beast.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna errata it. It's just like future creatures are gonna have like this is a chupacabra or whatever. The fuck
I
it
don't
is.
think I think it's too far gone to like go back and errata everything and,
Yeah.
and to just like start getting away from it.
Yeah, like you could do that, and people would be like, the problem is what they did with humans is they just added it to everything. Like if you look at old Mothers of Ruins, it was like cleric, and they're like it's a human cleric. So adding as an addendum is really easy. But as far as like
raccoon beast,
yeah, you could do that, or like, but trying to go back in the past and be like, we're just gonna get rid of Beast and just change everything. It's like, hey, don't fucking do that.
That's a nightmare.
We don't need 10,000 cards that don't say what they do, you know. So
right.
But yeah, rest in pizza beasts. All right, week 2 of ranking every single keyword. So last week we did S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, D tier, F tier. I don't like that scale because I don't think it. S tier is a lot of things where I think it should be listed as like broken, which was, I guess I would say, like a mechanic that had to be banned in some sense, such as an example would be like Dredge. Like Dredge 1 is not good, but Dredge 6 is broken. So, and that kind of encapsulates all of Dredge. A tier, it's like I want to relegate like A tier to mana reducing abilities, things that are like cheating, but that haven't broken the game yet, and meaning that they haven't seen a ban, but they've done things, you know.
Busted.
To be fair, what mana reduction abilities haven't been banned in some format?
Maybe Affinity. I think Affinity is fine. Like Affinity was initially banned, and then now it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas like Delve is not okay with fetch lands. Like just not okay. You can't play it. Like don't do that. But again, to be fair, artifact lands are banned, which they can totally be unbanned.
I've been saying forever. I thought Murktide would be banned a year ago, but no one even wants to no one even suggests banning Murktide.
Yeah. B tier would be like your flying, your trample, things that are like great staple effects.
B?
Yeah.
This scale is a B.
I mean, we could.
I get what you're saying.
We
though,
can
'cause,
we
like,
can leave it.
Flying is really good, but like it's not always good.
It's not broken,
When
right?
is it bad?
Yeah.
When is flying bad?
When
World-
a card says it can
world-
only block creatures with flying,
You ever get plummeted?
So it's
like
bad
Brazen
when-
Bar.
You ever get plummeted before, Josh? You ever get what's hurricaned? The green earthquake that only hits flyers, you know? No, I mean we don't have to change the scale. I'm just saying like there maybe we should just have a broken scale and then continue S through A or S through D.
Just make S broken, and then the rest can like A is like really fucking good, B is like
Okay, let's do that.
decent, C is okay, and D is like why are we playing this? I don't think we need to go beyond D though.
B is passing.
Well,
Yeah, and D is like
F is this does not work. Like you guys
Yeah.
purchased something and it doesn't work. Okay. All right, I like that. So all I'm gonna do is we could talk
everything
about
in S just move down to A.
yeah, and then do we bump everything down?
Yeah, just bump everything down. I'd imagine.
All right. So our first
This
mechanic today,
terrible fucking ability.
banding.
F.
You think there's enough?
Like,
It's
yeah,
a D. I think a D.
Okay.
I think it was like, if you, I think it was like good back then in the small like subset that it was good in, but I don't think it's like good anywhere else besides that one limited environment. In that limited environment where it was introduced, it was probably pretty good. But
Yeah.
it is zero functionality outside of that.
Yeah. So I get a huge kick out
And
of
it's on
banding.
white, and white's bad, so yeah.
So
This is F.
the last time F no banding initially was on Timberwolves. It was a wolf ability because you attacked and blocked in a pack. That's an
Well,
original.
then Wikipedia needs to fix it to have Timberwolf on there.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
primarily on white cards, and Timberwolf, which is a green card.
Yep. So there's Timberwolves, which has bans.
What about Rotwolf?
I'm not sure.
Or not Rotwolf.
I know what you're trying to reference.
What was
I
the
forgot
card's
what it's
name?
called. The fake
The fake card.
The fake wolf card that was like a huge meme back in like '94 because that was before you could like really see a set list and everyone was on like those websites trying to trade cards.
Yeah.
And like people were turning down trades of like full sets of power for this card because the card wasn't real.
Wolf.
Yeah, Throat Wolf.
Oh my god. So here's I will say this about banding. It's a mechanic that's hyper confusing. The last time it was printed was Exodus. Not Exodus. Weatherlight. On a white card that was a 3-mana 1/3.
Didn't like another card get it recently in like a Horizon set or something?
No, they have not done banning.
Right.
Jesus Christ.
It's like a reprint on a commander card, maybe.
So the reminder text is a paragraph for banding, and back then cards just said banding. They didn't, or it's bans. That's it. And then you had to go look at a rule book. Back in the day, you had to carry this little book with you to identify like what spells did. There wasn't reminder text because fuck you. This game is for intellects only. But banding, any creature with banding, and up to one without can block or can attack in a band. Bands are blocked as a group. If any creature with banding you control are blocking or being blocked by a creature, you divide that creature's combat damage, not as controller, among any of the creatures it's being blocked or is blocking. Like that, it's so fucking confusing to like explain that to somebody, and I can only imagine like how like Magic was played at kitchen tables. I was just like, this creature has bands, this one doesn't. I attack. Good luck. And you're just like, what does that do? Just block. Just block.
Isn't it just the opposite? It's like the same thing as like double blocking something, except you're attacking together. Like they're not attacking individually; they're attacking as like one entity. Yeah. Like if you attack with 2/2/2s that are banning, you're essentially attacking with a 4/4. And so if you block with a 4/4, you're blocking both of them.
What happens when you block with? Let's say I attack with a 2/2 and a 2/2 banding, and you have a 2/3 and you block. What happens?
Hang on, what would you say?
The damage is divided between both, so you actually only deal 1 to each.
Well, no, you get to decide.
You get to decide.
The person banding does.
Yeah.
Yes. They choose where the damage goes, so most of the time you would split it.
You would, right? It's really like confusing, especially when you have like things that like when you attack with 5 things with banding. Like so if you attack with 5 2/2s and they block with a 4/4, you could be like, all right, this is gonna take, or they block with a 5/5, you're like, this will take 1, this will take 1, this will take 1, this will take 1, this will take 1. Your 5/5 dies, and you're just like, that doesn't make any sense. You're like, it doesn't have to.
Yep.
Like it just your thing dies, and you're like, all right. So
yeah, they're not stacked in a line. They're like essentially just like a giant entity. Yeah.
That you can divide damage amongst.
Yeah.
Because the fuck. So
it screws over Death Touch.
Yeah,
because like normally Death Touch would be like just having to deal 1 damage, but because I get to decide, I could clump your 2 Death Touch damage to 1 creature.
Yeah, imagine if banding was just like part of every set. Like limited, anybody who's new to the game would just be like, I don't understand what's happening. Why does that work? You'd be like, well, your 3/3 doesn't kill my 2 2/2s because, or yeah, your 3/3 doesn't kill my 2 2/3s because suck it. Or a 2/2 and a 2/3.
I'm gonna build a commander deck with banding now.
There's not that many cards. It's like 30.
I mean, enough to confuse people.
Yeah, I mean, it's the meme, right? Everybody's like, oh, got you. But it does suck. Like,
I'm gonna beat Shieldred.
Yeah, banding. All right, so I would say that banding, design-wise, ability-wise, great, because it's confusing for the opponent. So a lot of people back in the day probably got a ton of free wins off of it. And that's...
Okay. I'd be comfortable with putting it at about a C.
C or D. Like,
sure.
It's
because like the fact that you can screw over, like it's bad for your opponent when you attack with banding, because like they're most likely not going to kill anything you have.
Yeah.
Just don't block.
Well, then you just die.
Well, dying's tight.
And the opposite would be going back to the shadow, getting banned to the Shadow Realm or whatever, getting sent to the Shadow Realm.
Yeah. All right. Moving on, Land Walk. This was discontinued, believe it or not.
Island Walk. See, Island Walk is fucking busted, and then like Plains Walk is like unplayable.
Island Walk's all fun and games until you play Boil, and you're like, guess what? I can block now. You're like,
I
gotcha.
still need to get a boil.
So it's an evergreen ability keyword that they did discontinue it in Magic Origins. They replaced it. They just said they wanted to remove Landwalk. It does exist in beta. The first card one of the first cards that has it is Lord of Atlantis, which gives other merfolks, all merfolks, +1/+1 and Island Walk. So Landwalk there's non-basic Landwalk. There's all 5 variants of Landwalk. Actually, there's like one Planeswalk ever. They don't really. I don't know why they are exclusive, but anyways, the idea is your creature becomes unblockable if your opponent controls something else.
I feel like I'm going to be wrong about this because do you know the last time a Landwalk card was printed?
Ixalan, this new one.
No, they didn't make it. They don't.
No?
Yeah, there's a Lord. You can get Lord of Atlantis in Ixalan.
But it's not.
All right, fair enough.
No, it's in the promo pack.
We'll call it original printing.
I'm saying original card, like a new Landwalk card. Do you know the last time one was printed?
I would say, a Mountain Walk in 2013 or 2014.
That kind of has it.
Was it that? Because I thought wasn't it Zendikar with Adventure, or what's the one boots that has non-basic Landwalk?
Yeah, the Trailblazer boots. There's Landwalk after that.
Yeah. Okay.
They stopped it at Magic Origins. No, I just know they stopped it at Magic Origins.
Okay.
Yeah, and because Landwalk was so broken, have you heard about the Legends cards?
Oh my God, this card is awful.
The cycle.
This card sucks.
There's an entire cycle of these.
Just in your sideboard for Merfolk boys.
Creatures with Island may be blocked as if they did not have this ability. So this is a card called Undertow. It's blue and 2. Enchantment. That's it.
This card you better get this card, Josh, because my Merfolk deck is about to mess you up.
There's an entire cycle of these. There's one for Mountain Walk. There's one for Planeswalk. I like the art of just like this sea creature just drowning in or just like on land. It's like suffocating. Like, sand sucks. All right.
It's coarse and it gets everywhere.
I'm gonna give. Like, to me, Landwalk is.
Neither of you said anything when I said that.
I missed it.
I mean, I know the it was a Star Wars reference. Tony doesn't like Star Wars.
Space is lame. Landwalk is.
I'd
put it at a C.
It's so tough.
C besides Island Walk. Island Walk is busted.
I think Island Walk is like A, and I think the rest of them are F. Like, that fucking kick rocks on that other shit. So that's an average.
Mount Walk's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it was in the original too. Goblin King gives it.
Yep.
But in Pauper, all the or no, that's not. It's affinity for mountains. Never mind.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a cycle of artifacts.
Yeah, the golem.
Yep, the golem, Spire Golem, other golem.
I thought they had Landwalking first, but no, it was affinity.
No, well, but we'll give it a C. I like a C. All right. Regenerate.
Dude, this is
busted. Straight. Busted.
Really good. So good that they don't do it anymore because it's too good.
No, they got rid of it because they want simpletons to play this game.
Right. It's a little confusing. If you haven't had someone if you haven't been on the poor end of regeneration trick, then you haven't really experienced it. But once you're on that end, you'll never forget how regenerate.
So regenerate was an evergreen keyword action, and they removed it, and then they replaced it with discard a card, make this thing indestructible, or a thing becomes indestructible for some amount of mana. But initially, it's you pay some amount of mana, and it gets what's called a regeneration shield. Now, if it were to be destroyed, or in any form, whether it's through combat, through damage, through a card effect, the card removes itself from combat and taps itself, which is such a weird thing, but Regenerate was one of those cards that was a next level ability for me, because I remember someone playing in limited a Cudgel Troll, and I had a Lightning Strike, and I was like, Lightning Strike, Cudgel Troll, and they're like, I'll just regenerate. I'm like, it taps. Like, no, it doesn't. I go, yes, it does, and then I'll attack for lethal.
Yep.
Yeah. They're like, why does it do? I was like, I don't know why it does that. It just does. It's just one of those things. Regeneration is weird.
Yeah,
regeneration would be super busted if
You could just
you
put
could
it.
yeah, because like I think it's supposed to represent like Josh was saying, like you're regenerating your body, so like you're
Yep.
not really able to block or attack. Like
Think of
you're
Piccolo.
moved.
You lost your
Yeah,
arm and you got to regenerate it. You got to stand out of the fight and wait.
man was so bad they made him a dad.
Yeah. But yeah, the so there's additional key text on it that nobody really remembers. Everybody just remembers that like my creature can't be destroyed, nanner. You know, but it's like it's a little bit more. It's a little bit more involved than that. But
I always remembered that the saying before would be it comes back tap, but upon reading this, it doesn't come back. It just
Yeah,
doesn't do any. It just doesn't go anywhere.
the funniest part is you could Doomblade it, they regenerate it, taps, and then they can Doomblade it. It's like the tap clause is still part of it. However, like it's not required that it's part of it. Like it doesn't need to be untapped to regenerate. Maybe that would be a way to fix it. Like this card needs to be untapped to regenerate to activate this ability, but if it's tapped, you can't. I don't know.
do you want to add
Well,
more words to this ability that people can't already remember?
Yeah.
Back in the day, a lot of the time, like tapping was required to regenerate it or whatever. You had to tap to regenerate. But the cards that had just like a mana sink regeneration, those were the fucking regenerate cards.
Yeah, like
those were the
troll
ones.
ascetic,
Yeah.
like all the basically it was like a troll thing. It was like trolls for whatever reason
Yeah.
just deflect damage because they're tight.
Was that also at the same time where they moved trolls out of regenerate into troll shroud?
Troll Shroud was
Which is
just
not-
original
was-
hexproof.
Yes.
which is original
Yes,
hexproof.
yeah. It was before we got the keyword hexproof, but we'll get to troll shroud. I have a real. I still call it troll shroud because of like, look at me, I played Magic back then, I'm cool. But yeah, they haven't done troll shroud.
I'd give this an A.
It's great. It's a great ability. Yeah.
I don't think it's like broken, like needs to be banned like S, but I do give this an A. Like regeneration is rarely bad.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Like the only card that I remember being like truly busted with it, and this is before my time, but I remember people was Troll Ascetic. That card was talked about like all the time. Like that card come from Mirrodin. It's a 3-mana troll. Can't be targeted by spells. Like good fucking luck.
It was in 10th edition as a rare, and like was still good then.
Yeah, it's cool. All right, I like
And
A.
people would put what was the Blanchwood armor on it?
And then in Alara they put the hammer on it.
Does the newest Thrun, does that have?
No.
It has like an indestructible clause, right? It's like, do this, get indestructible.
It can't be targeted by non-green spells, and on your turn, I think it's your turn. It has indestructible.
Yeah. But yeah, Thrun the Last Troll was like one of the bangers. Can't be countered, can't be targeted. Regeneration. It was like this fucking 4-mana 4/4. It was like a Jund meme sideboard card in Modern. Yeah.
It was busted in Standard too, because that was the Wolf Run era.
Oh yeah, you're like, check this out. All right, A tier for that. Drudge Skeleton, one of the original regenerators.
Card's so good.
It's so cool. All right, bans with others. Master of the Hunt. This is all their way of fixing bans, which you can only ban with things that say like ban with a certain thing. Only 8 cards have this. They haven't gone forward for this. This one's F because it's worse than banned.
Yeah,
this one sucks. But I didn't know that Master of the Wild Hunt was like a reference to this card. So when I found this, I was like, this is dope. And I also like Summon Master.
My favorite part is they're wolves, and those are clearly like sheepdogs. Those aren't wolves, man.
Well, those are definitely dogs.
That's the coolest part, right? So like the idea, like, and then we just to touch on the art that we talked about. They gave a card like, hey, can you draw Master of the Wild Hunt? Or sorry, Master of the Hunt. And they're like, okay, cool. What do you use to hunt? Dogs. And they're like, all right. And they're like,
but guess what? This card's gonna make wolves.
Yeah. Like, I don't know what the ability is. They just told me to draw fucking. Yeah.
I think this is the only time we've ever had 1/1 wolf tokens. Also.
Yeah.
Also, wasn't like the art and legends like done by a lot of their friends back then too?
Oh yeah. Probably. It was and there was like all those cards, like the faces of them. Those were like portraits of each other.
Right.
Like the random like 7-mana 5/5 first striker. You're like, what the fuck is this? You're like, oh, that's just my friend.
It was like all their D&D characters and stuff.
Yeah. So this is just like straight up F.
Well, yeah, Magic was originally created to be played in between turns
sessions.
And stuff in D&D. Yeah,
it was like
sessions.
Yeah, so you could be like, I want to play more. Like, but we don't have the group. Okay, play me in Magic.
Yep.
And the last ability we'll talk about, Rampage.
This card, dude, this ability was good.
That's a confusing one a little bit. It's actually not that confusing. It's pretty straightforward. It's so Rampage is a keyword ability that gives an attacking creature a bonus to its power and toughness when it's blocked by more than one creature. So if you didn't respect the 1v1, I was getting a bonus. So if you blocked with 2 guys, I got Rampage as X, which if it was X2, your creature would get +2/+2 to, get angry. Don't hit me, dog.
Wasn't this just replaced by like Bushido or
the last printing of it was 5th edition.
Correction, time shifted in Time Spiral.
That doesn't, or yeah.
Well, yeah, that's fair. Yeah, you're right. I take that back. The last time it was utilized for a new creature. Well, yeah, so actually it was it sucks. Like
I'd put it at a C. I think it's better than a D, but
the Wolverine pack, summon Wolverine pack.
I thought there was a dinosaur that had it, but maybe I'm wrong.
There's Rampaging for Ostodon, but it doesn't do that.
You're thinking of Enrage.
Yeah, Enrage is simpler. But yeah,
I don't know if it's simpler. Enrage has different ability. This is just like Rampage 2. All right, it gets +2/+2 if it's blocked.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Beyond the first creature. So if you just we're like, I have a 4/4 and they have a 2/4, like, God damn it, this does nothing. I have a vanilla guy.
Yep.
What is this? All right, so on the screen we have Wolverine pack, which has Rampage 2, and then this flavor text. Give them great meals of beef and iron and steel. They will eat like wolves and fight like devils. William Shakespeare, King Henry V.
Wolverine pack.
All right, cool. You want to talk about real complicated?
Yeah.
Banned with this card. And then have it get double blocked.
Yeah, no shit. That's bad. That's probably
that's one of the instances where you don't block.
You're like, you know what? I'll just take the damage. I don't
take
really
the 2.
Yeah. I'll just go to game 2.
So yeah, yeah.
Cast the healing salve.
I would say Rampage is a D. It's not broken in any sense. I've never seen it ever used in practicality ever. I've never seen it do it.
Block this card. I would never block this card.
I will admit, when I first said it was really good, I was thinking of that other ability, the one where when it comes in, you can reveal cards of the creature type to get that ability.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that one is yet.
There was that really old dragon. Yeah, I think that's what it was. The dragon. I remember the dragon had it. The artifact dragon has it.
All right, cool. That's all we got. That's it for the keywords. Every week we'll do 5 more. We're up to total keywords, and I threw some other things in there. I threw in split card. It's not a keyword, but I'd like to talk about it because I think it's cool. It's like a new way they did it, and then
you have Fuse on there, then, right?
Yeah, Fuse. There's different alterations of it. There's Fuse. There's Aftermath, and then there's in Kamigawa they did flip cards that were you actually turn them upside down. There's split cards, and then there's Transform. All those abilities are on there. But yeah.
Okay.
All right. That's all I got, dudes.
Yeah.
Josh, take us out. Longer episode, but I was having fun with it.
Packers are gonna win the Super Bowl.
Duh.
Also, Bonnaroo is better than Electric Forest. It's Wednesday, my dudes.
Bye. All right, cool. I gotta open
I
my.
didn't have a hot take, so I just did some nonsense.
That's fine.
But Bonnaroo is better than Electric Forest.
Yeah, I like.
Also, Packers are gonna win the Super Bowl. And this week in football, I like that the Packers have to play. This week is spicy because the Packers have to play against their old coach.
Yeah, it's a good storyline. I thought they were gonna have to play Detroit, but
and then Matthew Stafford has to go to Detroit to play.
Yeah,
in a playoff game.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's pretty funny for Matthew Stafford is gonna win his first playoff game in Detroit.
That's fucking great. Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, man, Jordan Love has impressed me this year.
He's one of the leading the league in touchdown passes or something like that, right?
Yeah. I've been very, very very happy with. He started off the year. Yeah.
I was just gonna say he already outperformed Aaron Rodgers in his first year.
Well, it's a 17-game season, doesn't count because they're identical. They're identical for 16 games, which is kind of an anomaly, and they were identical all the way up through week 11. The only difference is the winning record, which 9-8 versus 6-10.
Yeah.
That's like the biggest difference. But like,
I'm surprised. We should really have like 2 more wins, but like dumbass, what's
Yep.
his name? Joe Barry.
Yep. If you just look at like the season, and this is like, I mean, obviously I'm a Packer fan, but if you look at the season, we got spanked once this year, maybe twice. We got spanked by Minnesota the first time, and we got beat up real bad by Detroit the first time. But all the other losses were like less than a score. Like we were competitive all year.
Mm-hmm.
So like, you know, you if our kicker could stop missing field goals every fucking game, the first thing I tested my friends, I was like, hey dude, like, who's our new kicker for next year? Because Jesus Christ, I can't take this. Like, for real, fuck that guy.
Detroit's gonna win it.
Nah, they
against Stafford.
No, their defense
Oh,
imploded.
or do you mean the Super Bowl?
I mean, I think they're gonna at least make it to like either. I think at least the championship.
Their defense, Chicago did something really nice. They exposed an Achilles heel for their defense, and ever since Chicago came close to beating them, every team has replicated what Chicago did, and they've just been losing and losing and losing. Like it's not like whatever it is that they need to figure out, they can't, because it's happening week over week. Like, they should have won the division, but they fucking threw that away. They were on such a hot streak. Also, their coach.
But they did win the division.
Sorry, the entire NFC, not the.
Oh,
yeah, they should have had the
They
first
should
seed.
have been the 1 seed.
Yeah, but their coach he's known for taking an absurd amount of fourth downs. Against the Packers when they lost, they went 0-5 for fourth downs. You know, and he goes for 2 way too often. So like,
Dan Campbell.
yeah, he's a gambler, and you can see it. And that, like, when you win, it's fucking hot, but when you decide to just like, hey, it's you know, I would be better on pinning X team on the 7-yard line, but instead I'm midfield and I'm 4th and 2, and the analytics say go this, even though we have like a 3-point lead. It's like, dude, just take the kick. And you know, when you fail, you now put the, you know, whatever analytics say, you shifted the entire game atmosphere.
Yep.
So, and he keeps doing it, and that's why he's losing. He can't help himself, but he's a numbers guy, I guess. But yeah, I'm
Money ball.
Yeah, I'm excited. I hope the Pack. I really, you know what I really want? Like, I think they're gonna beat Dallas, because I just think like there's something about being an underdog and doing that. A Super Bowl's a pipe dream. I would, you know, obviously everybody would love that, but to get through San Francisco just sounds impossible. Like, with McCaffrey and that whole squad, they're just so fucking good. But I mean, Jordan Love's pocket presence has gone through the roof. He's gotten a lot better. The last 4 games, he had 18 touchdowns and 1 interception. Like, his numbers are through the roof, and it's not like he's playing like, aside from Chicago and like Minnesota, which were like piece together teams. It's not like he's playing bums, you know. I guess he was playing Carolina too, but they should have fucking beat the shit out of that team.
Didn't Minnesota get a wild card spot too?
No, they're out.
Okay.
They were like 5-2. And they end up 7-10. They just fucking once Kirk Cousins got injured, that was it. And the organization for Chicago, like, if they don't,
I'll admit Chicago did way better than this year than I thought they would have done.
I mean, they were a respectable team at the end of the year for sure. Because they're in a so are the Packers, and the fact that the Packers are a rebuild team and they made the playoffs is huge. And the Chicago is a rebuilding team. They Justin Fields, and you'll see this if you watch. I don't know how many games you watched Chicago this year, but I watched all of them because I just like to.
Like probably half.
I like to talk shit on Justin Fields. He has a critical error, which it cannot be.
Plays for the Bears.
Well, no. If he could the Bears would have been a good team if that guy. And this is the common mistake of
Bears going to get Harbaugh.
Yeah, this is a common mistake that all running quarterbacks do. Is when they scramble, they look to run. When you're scrambling, you should be looking downfield to make a pass. They do not do that, and that's why they get beat up by spies. Like, look at, and I know I'm using Jordan Love as an example, but when Jordan Love scrambles, he's still looking downfield to complete a pass. He's not looking to run. So every team, if you eliminate the ability to throw a pass and you're gonna run, it's so easy to just light you up, and you know you're a predictable threat versus, hey, this guy's scrambling, like, you know, Aaron Rodgers did it, extending the play. because he's still looking downfield when he's scrambling. And that's a huge Achilles heel to Justin Fields. And if he can't, he was the fastest guy in high school. He's the fastest guy in college. He's fucking not even top 100 in the fucking NFL. Like, he can't run like the way he did.
Everybody wants to be Michael Vick, man.
Yeah.
Remember when RG3 was doing that shit, and then his elbow or his knee like became an elbow on national television?
I remember RG3 was a fucking moron. He
Dude,
is.
I had him in rookie year in fantasy football that year, and I was the biggest RG3.
So RG3 fan, like or RG3 is as a whole. When I used to do a drink game, how many times they would say the word RG3 on when he played? It was like pretty intense. So I would get fucked. And then 2,
Up there with like Taylor Swift.
the guy has no football IQ, meaning that once upon a time when he was on, it was third and he was on his own 1 yard line. It's 3rd and 1, right? Time's running out of the clock. What do?
You run it.
You don't call timeout. I can tell you right now. You
No,
don't.
wait, hang on. The time's running. You have to do like a check down.
No, I'm just saying
dump
this.
it off to
Like,
your-
here's what you do. You don't even snap the ball. You don't have a play in. They fucked up. He goes, timeout. And it's like, bro, if you get the penalty, it's not a loss of downs. You lose half the distance to the fucking goal, you moron.
Oh boy.
Like, you lost a foot. Are you fucking retarded? Like, that's football IQ. You don't have it. And if you don't have it, you got to get out of the league. And that's why he's out. But it's like, what are the consequences of taking the penalty? Half the distance of the goal, which is 1 foot or a foot and 6 inches. Like, just, but he calls timeout because he's just like, oh, clock's running out. I gotta call timeout. It's like, no, it's just take the fucking penalty. It's literally a foot. You idiot. And that, when I saw that happen, I was like, oh, this guy's fucking done. He's out of the league. And that was like his 2nd year in. He was like, you are a fucking boob. Like, you don't know shit.
He
Yeah.
didn't make it through his first year. He tore his ACL.
He came back.
Did he? He came
Yeah,
back on someone's like
He played for a couple
as
years.
a backup and played like another like 6 games or whatever. Then after that, he was done.
Yeah, but like
Teddy Bridgewater was the other one that like had
Ten-
a promising career.
10-yard
Like,
Teddy. He could
died in practice. No one even saw him die.
he had a
But
nickname.
He had like a giant comeback story.
10-yard Teddy couldn't throw more than 10
like that
yards.
I like that guy.
Wasn't
I thought
Tebow only like good his first year too?
Tim Tebow.
Tebow's still good. I think Tebow could still be a.
He could come back.
NFL.
Yeah.
He's
He
in
got
the Canadian league right now.
yeah. He got hit really hard. And I remember when there was the highlight where it basically like that was the beginning of like the concussion protocol because he got hit so fucking hard.
Yeah.
And Andrew, same thing with like Andrew Luck.
Yeah. Andrew Luck. I mean, Indianapolis was lucky. They had
Josh Allen's gonna be that way soon enough. That guy,
he's-
I think he's been rocked too many times that he doesn't have a brain left already, and he doesn't. That's why he keeps doing it.
Yeah, people love the flash of a running quarterback, but you need to be a pocket passer first, then a running quarterback, not the other way around. And too many young guys that are coming out of. So this is the biggest issue. So Michigan State, right? Or sorry, Michigan or Washington and all those top 4 teams. All those quarterbacks, they look so good on paper because they play dog shit teams for 6 seasons or for 6 games of the year, and they all have like these crazy padded stats. And then they get to the NFL and everybody's fucking fast. So all their shitty habits that they have translate,
They're
and
bad.
then they just get beat up because they're like, oh, I'm able to, I can cut the corner because I can outrun this guy. It's like, you don't understand, this D lineman's faster than you, and he's also 350 pounds. So like, don't try that.
Oh, he's about to like ruin your motherfucking day.
Yeah. So, but like,
Yeah.
it's very rare that like a one of those top teams quarterbacks can translate to the NFL because they're so used to dominating things coming at ease. Whereas like, Aaron Rodgers comes from, what is
Cal.
it? Cal, which was just a middle of the road team. So he had to play constantly hard games and have adversity so he could learn what to do in those moments. Whereas a guy that has a cakewalk doesn't do that. And that's why you see these weird championship games where they're blowouts because this is the first time they've gone against adversity and they're like, oh, we will against a team that's evenly matched against us. I've never played against anybody that I haven't dominated. I don't know what to do. And then when they get to the NFL, they all fucking flop. So you don't want that first round guy. It's a mistake, and especially if the Bears are going to take the Michigan's quarterback and they're going to put him in as a starter. Well,
if they get Michigan's coach, then that's probably not a bad idea. Or if they get Harbaugh or whatever.
The guy's never going against
If the
adversity.
Bears get Harbaugh, the Packers are fucked. Or like, well, maybe not fucked, but that's not good news for the Packers.
No, I mean it's great boon. I mean,
I don't think that's all they need though. Like, I understand. Like,
well, their
I
pieces
think
are there
Fields
for sure.
has a lot. I feel like Fields has a lot of potential. Like if he gets his shit together, but they're still missing a lot of pieces.
You can't train his football instinct to run. It's baked into him for the last 13 years.
Right.
It's a done deal. You can't if he
prowess stuff.
yeah like I like Justin Fields. He just can't get it out. Like that's his football instinct, and that's unfortunate. Maybe he should have done what Love did, sat behind a quarterback for a couple of years, and maybe he should have done what Aaron Rodgers did, sat behind a quarterback for a couple of years.
The problem is he would have been sitting behind Macron. Like,
Yeah, that's fair.
Is that really going to be like? And before that, Jay Cutler. Like, is that really going to be beneficial?
I'm gonna send you this video. You're gonna fucking love it.
It's one of the sure I won't.
Dude, they should have got elite Joe Flacco.
Dude, what? Talk about a fucking career revival. I've been out of the league for 3 years and I go to the playoffs. Like, what the fuck?
They should have got what's his name? The dude that everybody hated because he kneeled. He would have been a better choice.
He won't ever come back to the league either.
He's a running.
No, I know he won't. But he would have been better than Jay Cutler and all the guys they picked so far.
I love Jay Cutler.
He never should have been like laughed out of the league. He was a good player.
I agree, but
I don't mind. It doesn't bother me what he did. He just you know.
It was his choice. Like
also,
but that's a whole nother
fucking media and stupid social media and a million freaking loudmouths that are loud.
Yeah, well, it's not even social media. It's
ruin everything.
That wasn't social media. That was all the people that don't use social media.
So the NFL donates, like the NFL pay. Sorry, the military to do those flyovers pay an absurd amount of. They pay an absurd amount of money to do that at games, and you know then they have somebody that disrespects the flag in that sense. They go, hey, do you still want our money to fly over the games? Because you're going to do something about this asshole that just disrespected all branches of, military. So, like, if you would like us to continue having $100 millions of government tax money coming towards your way, you better fucking do something. And they're like, okay.
That's something that, like, started, that wasn't there before.
By the way, we are still live.
I don't care.
I'm just
thank you.
informing.
Yeah, thank you. I don't think I've said anything ridiculous.
I'm just saying because the conversation,
people.
Yeah,
it's just more or less because the conversation is getting more
political.
Yes, sure. I was just informing, not saying we need to stop it.
Yeah, fair.
Okay, I'm going to bed now. Good night.
Oh, I mean, that's not what I was saying either. But all right.